James Comey posts a picture that says 8647. To 86, the president is to call for an assassination. Now, that's a matter of opinion. We're going to go into all this means, but James Comey's in hot water, probably investigated, probably needs to go to jail. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel, and this is really about media bias or personal bias. Because I just want you to picture for a second, if I said 86 Obama, if I posted 86 Obama, around 2010, what do you think would happen to me? And I think we all know what would happen. Or if you said 86, the King of England, while you're in London proper, you'd be in jail for life. So first of all, we're going to start with the post. So this is James Comey explaining what he posted over on Twitter. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk. Now he's playing dumb, like he didn't know what they meant. First, I guess I'll show you them first. Look, here they are. It says, it's the numbers 8647. Now, did he put them there, or did he find them? Either way, he knew what they meant. He's going to pretend like he had no idea. He just thought they were just, cute or random. Okay, now here's his post. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. So political message, he's trying to hide behind First Amendment, political rights. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. That's a lie that he says he doesn't realize that. Like I said, if I said 86 Obama, he would know exactly what I was calling to do. It never occurred to me. Oh, of course not. But I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down, just in case. That level of passive aggressive gaslighting is normal by the Democrat Party. It's all they have left. And it's at the very least, it may be common, but it is still dishonest. It may be a common lie, but it's still a lie. And this is going to show the two-tiered justice system of justice, because the Democrats and the left is going to try to let him off the hook. They're going to give every kind of explanation possible to show that he didn't mean it. Whereas we all know what would happen if I said seriously to my followers, 86 Obama. Everyone would know what that means. Now, I'm going to go to this. First of all, James Comey is 6'8". Now, I'm 6'8". And I'm kicking James Comey out of the Tall Gentleman's Awesome Club, the 6'8" club. You get kicked out. You're 6'8" in name only, because you're a shame to us all. However, that is just a freakish height, I'll tell you. Now, I'm going to go into some of the origins of 86. I used Grok to help me do some research here. The origins of the term 86, the phrase 80 to 86 someone, originates from American slang, primarily associated with the restaurant and bar industry, and it means to remove, eject, or refuse service to someone, often abruptly. Its exact origin is debated, but here's some theories from the 1920s, 1930s. This is why when someone's imitating hard-boiled, I'm a writer, so if you're going to do hard-boiled gangsta talk in the speakeasy, you'd go, hey, we got to 86 that guy, 86 that item. One of the most popular theories ties 86 to Chumley's, a speakeasy at 86 Bedford Street in Greenwich Village. During Prohibition, police would allegedly tip off the bar about raids, going like, oh, you might want to let your people out the back. We're going to raid the front. Prompting staff to usher patrons out the back door at 86 Bedford while police entered through the front. To 86, someone meant to send them out or remove them from the premises. So there's soda jerk slang, which is 86, is fountain lingo, that if a restaurant ran out of a dish, the staff would say it was 86th. This could extend to customers, meaning to cut off or refuse service, especially to unruly patrons. There's a naval military code theory. Some says 86 comes from military naval technology. To Article 46 of the Uniform Code is to discharge someone. There's also a telegraph theory that 86 could be some kind of a message. But then it gained prominence in the 1930s to present. The use of 86 is in food service to 86 something. By the 1950s to 86, someone was common slang among waitstaff and bartenders to mean kicking someone out or banning them. The bartender would say, 86, that guy, he's had so much. Pop culture, 1950s to 1980s. So it's evolving. The term is growing to how we use it today. Here's Hill Street Blues and movies like Cocktail in 1988 with Tom Cruise. The bar staff would 86 troublesome patrons. And then here's expending the meaning. 86 meant getting rid of anything unwanted, not just people, for instance. Some might say, let's 86 the old couch. In the criminal underworld context, 86 took on a darker connotation, and this is how we're using it today, implying to kill or eliminate someone, though this was less common and often sensationalized in fiction, like pulp novels or crime dramas in looking back. Today, 86 remains a versatile slang term used both literally in restaurants and figuratively to discard or remove something. It's less tied to physical ejection and more to general dismissal, as in 86 the plan. It's not working. The term persists in pop culture with references in music. And then the choice, let me get down here a little farther. It could be also because of you're in the grave. It's 8 feet long by 6 feet deep. And then here's the conclusion, that while it emerged from a mix, today to 86 someone or something is a colorful, widely recognized phrase of removal or dismissal rooted in the American service industry culture. But it does also mean, this is what I mean by two-tiered justice system. A judge could easily dismiss this and go, it's just innocent. It's restaurant speak. It means to 86 the pie off the menu. It doesn't mean to 86 the president. If, like I said, if I did this to a Democrat, we all know what would happen. That's a two-tiered justice system. They would find intent the same way that they found intent. Though Trump said, please walk peacefully and patriotically, to the Capitol. And then the Democrats heard and divined using their magic thinking to say Trump meant and was starting a wink insurrection is what he meant. And that's how people responded. Now we have Trump with an assassination attempt already on him. So what do you think it means when Comey writes to 86 the president? He's in deep trouble because of the interpretation. And I'm only saying I have seen the use of 86 in left-wing politics even recently. Here's one example. This was going around last time with Trump. Look, here's Gretchen Whitmer. And in the background with a circle around it, she had this sticker that was widely made on the left to 8645. That's back when in Trump's first term, they were printing stickers that said to 8645. Remember, they were always saying that Trump was inciting violence through January 6th rhetoric, and that's why he was to blame. Now, here's a post by Devery Darkins over on MSNBC, because now comes the giant spin, the left-wing spin on how words don't cause violence, which I agree. It just has to apply to both sides equally. Words don't cause violence. Trump saying you go commit an insurrection does not cause an insurrection. So even in the worst case scenario, you're going to hear the left say words don't cause violence until someone like me says 86 Barack Obama. I would go to prison by the left. They go, we all know what you mean by that. Oh yeah, words cause violence. Just so that's what I'm really addressing here is this whole thing is really about a two-tiered system of justice. Everything Democrat is excusable and good. Everything Republican is evil, bad, and must be prosecuted to the nth degree and call for prison time.
It's hard to know whether or not there'll be a there. I mean, Comey took the post down immediately. He apologized. It is still surprising to me that he is so disliked on the right, considering the role he helped play in Donald Trump's original election in 2016. But this is certainly, for those, in MAGA sphere who want to talk about something else, who want to be angry about something, James Comey provided a convenient target for them right now, and they're happy to do it. We should also note that after this, Willie, this brouhaha with the social media post, Comey went back on social media later today, to promote his new book, which is coming out in the next.
Oh, there you go. It's a book post. You might ask, why in the world would Comey post those seashells in that shape? Why? Because he's promoting a damn book. He knew how the internet works. He goes, you cause a big ruckus. That's free marketing. Everyone knows it. I know that as a media guy. It's how you create a ruckus. Here's Election Wizard. What a coincidence that a week before Comey's book tour and new release drops, he accidentally created a media frenzy by snapping a picture of a random collection of seashells on the beach. Crazy how that worked out. Here's James Comey's book coming out next week for Drive. This is marketing, using you as marketing. Now here's Stephen Miller. As the former FBI director and key leader of the deep state, Comey's call for assassination while the president is abroad, no less, is a chilling escalation of the war against our democracy by a faction committed to its destruction. I agree. Here's Tulsi Gabbard on, we're going to have to arrest this guy.
The director of national intelligence. Are you buying that the former FBI director didn't know what 86 Trump meant?
Absolutely not, Jesse. That is a ridiculous and insane statement to make, certainly within this context, but especially coming from a guy who's the former director of the FBI, a guy who spent most of his career prosecuting mobsters and gangsters, people who know and execute other humans and use this exact lingo of 86. Comey himself admitted in his follow-on message that he knew that this was a political statement. Well, the only reason he knew that, Jesse, was because a little over a month ago, a bunch of anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk protesters were proliferating the use of this 8647 slogan, which was a veiled call to action to murder the sitting president of the United States. So for Comey to think that we, the American people, are so stupid as to think that he, as a former FBI director, former prosecutor, and someone who clearly pays attention to what's going on, would believe his lie that he didn't know what this actually was calling for. The dangerousness of this, Jesse, cannot be underestimated. When we have 2 assassination attempts on the president's life, when we have people who look to guys like Comey, who've been celebrated by MSNBC and the Democrat elite and CNN as the beacon of integrity, the law and order guy, the guy who would tell the truth no matter what the consequences. This is the guy who's issuing a hit on President Trump, the president that the American people voted for. So it's guys like Comey and others who call the president the modern day Nazi, people who are in great positions of influence, who are saying that President Trump poses an existential threat to our country. These are people who hate democracy and hate the American people because they cannot stand that the people overwhelmingly chose to elect Donald Trump and send him back to the White House. So they are seeking other means to get their way and to try to remove him from that position.
Okay, look at the tweet on the upper right there on screen. That's Comey's original tweet. Says, cool shell formulation on my beach walk.
How serious is the administration taking this, and what are the next steps going to be?
We're taking this very seriously. As you mentioned, the Department of Homeland Security, and specifically Sean Curran, the current Secret Service director, a man who has been willing to lay down his life as the lead of President Trump's Secret Service detail for years now. He takes this seriously and is leading the investigation into this threat. There has to be accountability for this. There was a Rutgers study that just came out a little over a month ago, Jesse, that asked respondents their view on these calls to assassinate President Trump. And over 55% of respondents felt that murdering President Trump would be, quote unquote, somewhat justified.
That's the left, guys. That's the Democrats. It's an atheistic worldview. Even if you claim to be a Christian and you're on the left, you act like an atheist. They believe it is justified to assassinate Trump. 55% of them in this poll. Those aren't Republicans. Those are Democrats. 55% of the Democrat Party, which is nearly, it's like around 1/4 of the country. If you extrapolate it out across the population, 1/4 of the country believes it's justified to take out the president. This is like the French Revolution, the difference between the Robespierrean Jacobin Revolution versus the way we conducted things in our starting of this country. We were watching the French Revolution. It was a bloodbath, both sides. This is Napoleonic era. And, let them eat cake and all that. They would bring out the guillotine and just kill a leader. And then the next group would come up and rise up in violence against the other leader. And the Democrat Party is getting there. It's evolving and bubbling up, and greater violent rhetoric is coming. I don't want to scare you guys. Trump obviously is not acting scared. He's not going to walk around all cowardly and afraid. But it is realistic to look at what's happening to the Democrat Party. Your Democrat friends, I do this all the time. I talk about them all the time. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't Nito. This isn't I'm not making a political opinion right now. I'm telling you, they took a poll and 55% of them said they're justified in assassinating the president. That is a very serious cultural movement that we're addressing right now. And part of what I do here is give you the big picture of what's happening with the Democrats versus the Republicans. And remember, the Democrats the whole time are, when it's inside their heart and they know that murder's in their heart, they project it out to you. That's another common human trait, but especially on the Democrat Party. They go, you MAGA are violent. You MAGA want to assassinate Obama and Biden and Hillary. It's really them projecting. It's a psychological, they go, you're projecting again. You're projecting. Democrats are always projecting. Here's Trump on the assassination words last night on Fox.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country has become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he doesn't.
Well, he
wasn't
apologized
calling
because he
for
was
violence. But
look, he's a very bad.
What do you want to
look,
see happen?
he is a,
What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
He's a dirty cop. I agree. James Comey really needs, we absolutely have to send him to prison. If you want to stop this violent rhetoric and keep people from going around saying assassinate the president, you have to stop this now. You have to prosecute him, put something on the record, even if he doesn't do jail time or whatever, has to be arrested in some way, has to be run through a trial. They will find him guilty, that he knows what it means. He posted it intentionally, that he needs to be, as leadership, you get held to a higher account. Comey called for the assassination of the president of the United States. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe.